Hi there, it's Ranjan Bhattacharya here from the Baker Street Property Meet. We are just about to have an event, and this event features a couple of great speakers from a company called LendInvest, who are a leading financing company for property developers. And I'm here with Ian Thomas, who's the co-founder of LendInvest.
Hi.
Pleasure to see you. And Steve Larkin, who's the development finance director.
Correct.
That's correct, yes. So, Ian, tell us a little bit about who LendInvest are, because you're not a high street bank, obviously.
So we're a business that we phrase ourselves as it's a marketplace for mortgages. So our focus at the moment is on two niches, which is bridging finance, development finance, and soon to be buy to let. So we're not funded in the same way a bank is, and consequently we don't have a lot of the same constraints a bank has, and we have a lot more flexibility in how we can operate. And so I'm going to be talking about the business, how the business was established, what we look at in loans, and how we're going to evolve the business going forward.
So what sort of lending pot do you have going forward?
So there's quite a lot of sources of capital. So key differentiator for us is diversity of funding. So we have an online investment platform which allows individual investors to invest in specific loans. So that's
is that like a crowdfunding platform?
It's a bit different to that in the sense that it's high net worth and sophisticated investors that can invest on that platform. So it's structured in a way which means that it's not available to retail, but from our perspective, it means that we get investors that are very aware of what they're investing in,
yes.
And aware of the associated risks. So that's one pot of capital. We also have bank funding lines, which we use to fund some of our deals. We also have two of our own funds, a Luxembourg fund and a UK-based fund, both of which have been established for some years now and been delivering consistently a good return to our investors. And then we also have some specific institutional lines from pension funds, insurance companies and so on. So a really broad mix of different funding sources that match in appropriately to different types of loans.
Yes. So there's quite a broad breadth of funding capital there.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that's probably important to mention to people is that with a lot of crowdfunding platforms, you often, if you're looking to buy something, you often have to wait until the crowd has put up the money before you can actually fund the thing.
Sure.
But yours doesn't work like that, does it?
No, so ours is all debt. So we're lending to third-party borrowers who are putting their own money into projects, and we're providing the capital to be able to complete on the purchase. But we always write the loan day one, and then once the loan's written, then we either place it with one of our bank funding lines or the funds, or we list it on the platform. Yes. And if it doesn't sell on the platform for whatever reason, then we just retain it.
So you're basically, you write the debt with the developer, and then you exit finance part of that debt with some of your fund people or the crowd.
Yeah, so the developer's always got certainty that they're going to be funded because we ring fence the capital as soon as the deal's approved. Yes. And then in terms of where that deal will end up, it's sort of determined where's appropriate relative to the characteristics of the underlying loan, and so on.
Okay, and Steve, I mean, you've got a banking background of many years, and you've seen many property developers and property development proposals. So if someone's coming to you with a proposal, what do you look for? What are the key features of a proposal that makes it fundable and backable?
Yeah, I think the key thing, Ranjan, is a developer's experience. Has he done it before? Does he know what he's doing? I think a lot of mistakes of the last few years have been banks funding people who just thought get into property, make some money. I think from our point of view, they have to have done it before, have to know what they're doing in the same location, with the right people, with the right agents, and therefore we know that they can see the deal through to the end. Capital is relatively easy to get hold of in this market because of lenders, but therefore we only want to lend to people we know can get the deal through to the end.
Yes.
I think we have to make sure the location is right. You're buying in a location where properties will sell, so it's commutable, there's good schools, it's not rural, it's not seaside, and where we think if you put it in an estate agent's window up and down the country, it will sell. And those are the key things for us really, experience and location, and that the price is right. You know, you're not buying or you're not selling properties where you're going to crash through a ceiling, where properties in that street haven't sold there for that sort of price. It's at the right price in the right location for us.
So it's the fundamentals essentially.
Absolutely, yeah.
And in terms of the experience that developers require, I know that you guys are quite unique because you actually help educate people. You run a developers academy. Do you want to tell people a little bit about that and how they can get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. It's we started that last year. The idea was that we saw lots of deals coming through where people didn't have the experience to go and develop, and therefore being locked out of the markets. And our idea was really to try and get Britain building, get people and give them the knowledge to go out and start with their own developments, whether it's through us or whether it's through other people. And so we introduce people to architects, planners, land purchasers, some finance issues, all the dynamics you need in order to do property development. And it's also about growing a network. Property development is all about people you know, people in the market, other people can help you, and therefore the idea is to create this network of inexperienced and experienced property developers. And if you've got something, or you need an architect somewhere, or a land planner, or a buyer, or a finance person, that you can use your network to ask the question and ask someone who might know the answer.
Yes, yes. I mean, I've been on this, you were kind enough to invite me to come along to the Developer Academy. It's very good. It's a couple of well-spent days. Do you have a website that people can go to apply?
Yes, we do.
There is
yeah.
an application
There is
process,
an application process on our main website, www.lendinvest.com, and it's by there.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thanks very much, guys. These guys are going to be speaking tonight, and we've got more than 200 people in the room to hear them. We've got plenty more videos on our YouTube channel, but the best way to experience the Baker Street Property Meet is to come down to a live event. We meet on the last Wednesday of every month. We are the UK's #1 property meet, and it's a place to hear from some expert speakers and to network with some very interesting property people. Bye for now.